Okay, so we're looking at the dot on the B, and remember, it would that where that dot is, it's the note that corresponds to the dot is the top or the bottom note, same note. So the dot on the B and the dot on the C sharp gives you a whole note relationship, and the only shape that has a whole note in it on the bottom, the only pentatonic or diatonic cage shape, is a 5/6. So what is B the fifth of? It's the key of E, and it's A shape. All the other dots go away because this is the only shape that corresponds to E right here. It's your key to the key of E. Okay, so looking at the key of E here, our key to the key of E was the 5/6, which was the B and the C sharp right here. And that is our A shape, because remember, A shape is the only shape that has two notes on the bottom. When you do pentatonic scales, you got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 2, 3, 5, 6 root, 3, 5, 6 root 2, 5, 6 root 2, 3. Right there, that's the A shape. That's your A shape. In the key of C, it'd be okay. Earth to Andy. All right, so we're looking at the key of E now. All right, so remember, we've got this. We've got E is the only shape that has B and C sharp as its fifth and its sixth between these two dots. So you use that to gain. Okay, I think we got a different diagram here, but still we have the key E right here. So here's our 5 and 6 right here. So the point is that you can use this A-shaped key of E cage shape to go to the left or to the right, and that's the important part. So we're going to do that. We're going to use this to go to the left or to the right. So when you have the A shape, according to the string circle, the A shape is going to go to the fifth of A, which goes to the E shape. Okay, so going to the right, we're going to have a 7 root 2. All right, in the key of E, that would start right here, 7 root 2. Okay, or you want to build up from there, A shape will go to 7 root 2. And there's your A shape right there. 5, 6, 7 root 2. Remember, key of E right there. So that's, the same thing, the same effect. That's where you hone in. That's your mapping point. It's your entry point for the key of E, is between the B and the C sharp dots. And you can just build it from there. And I would suggest you use caged at first, because with caged, when you go to the next shape, you're going to be on that string. So the A shape will go to the G shape. Also, you can do it in, if you want to do it in fifths, you can go up the strings in fifths. So if you started on that A shape, E, key of E, oh, that was almost a blues note. If you started on that A shape, you know you're going to go from the fifth of A is E. Your next string up is going to be E, right? So it's going to be 5, 6, 7 root 2 kind of thing. But let's say let's look at the string signal, the string circle here. All right, I got one right here. Looking at the string circle. So if we're in the A right here, we're going to go to the E shape. So here's your A shape. what I'm saying is, if you want to go vertically to the next string, you're going to be going to the E shape in the key of E. And if you want to start an E shape there, you can. It's just going to warp into something else, isn't it? Starting from the second string, it'll warp into the fourth of E, which is an A shape. And that's what we started in. So it looks like we're doing pretty good with the dots. All you really have to know is what are the bottom string notes, where the dots are, if you already know how to play guitar. Now, the problem is the last minor third interval before the octave is a minor third, but it's a minor third interval from the fret nut to the G note, from the E note to the G note. But C is the only shape we can play down there because of missing notes that are below the fret nut. Up here we have the luxury, up near the octave, we have the luxury of having notes below the fret nut at our disposal. Therefore, not only have we got a C-shaped C, up here rather. Okay, so that pertains to this. Actually, I was talking about that's the next interval up. We've got the C right there. We've got two choices there. So let's talk about that first before we get to the three of them. So in this instance, from the octave to the high G, we're going to add the G, key of G, G-shaped diatonic box, because we can access the Lone Wolf 7 right there. Okay, sorry, that would be over here. We can access the Lone Wolf 7 right here. All right, so that particular F sharp on the defining string down there is 3, 4, 5, right? In the G, it's 6, 7 root rather, with the G shape. 6th of G is E, 7th is F sharp, and root is G. 6, 7 root. We talked about the C, right? The C is the 3, 4, 5. So you have that all over again, an octave higher. But now we can add the official key of G box, because we can access the Lone Wolf 7 in that box, and the box actually does extend down there in its true length. It's just that because of the dots, I had to kind of fit them in between the two dots. So we can choose between the octave dot and the next highest dot to play either a C shapes thing, like, you know, or we could do a G thing, which would be starting from the G root. It would be G shape. That's way up there for me because my guitar is tuned wrong for this discussion. But so we've talked about the two possibilities from the octave double dot to the first dot up there, which goes to the high G, which in my guitar is way high. But let's talk about the third interval from the C sharp to the octave E. Okay, so this would be this. We have three possibilities to play between those three dots, which means it's your choice. You can choose any of three keys between the C sharp dot and the octave E dot. You can choose to play in the key of E, the key of A, or the key of D. You got three choices there. That is your entry point for any of three keys. We're going to talk about that in the last segment, and that'll be it for today. It's so important to, you know, be able to know this is so easy once you just learn where the dots are. Of course, I was horrified when I found out there was one on C sharp.